Welcome back everybody to part 3 of maybe 4 of our deck series. Today is mind the birds in the background. The lorikeets are having a grand time this morning, and so am I. They're quite beautiful, to be honest. A bit squawky, but beautiful. The decking, the fun part, I mean, it's a laborious and it's a labor intense part because you're bending down and you're basically screwing for what seems like an eternity. But it's obviously the best part of the deck because it's the whole point of a deck is the finish. We're going to have some beautiful Blackbutt to mirror the front that we've done previously in our garden beds and our front veranda decking. We'll provide a link for those videos in the comments and then in the description so that you can check out what we've done there. But basically, very, very similar installation we're going to do for this larger style deck. I'm going to go for a base-styled decking installation, which is a little bit easier. It's sort of more bite-sized than just laying 22 rows of boards and just trying to screw them all off. So I'll go through that in a little bit more detail as well. And this morning, just finishing installing the protected deck. So I don't know how bad those birds are. Protected deck. It is not essential for a deck, but it's highly recommended. It's basically, think of it like a condom for the deck, really. It's just that added protection. You probably could do without it, but let's be honest, it's best if you have it. So this provides a really good moisture barrier between your framing and your decking board. What is the biggest catalysts to decks just falling apart and rotting out over the years, even treated pine timber and hardwood, is water rot and wood rot. So this provides that protective layer between the underside of the board and the top of the joist and basically sheds any water that heads off of it and keeps the moisture in the board, which evidently dries out constantly with the sun and airflow. They add years onto your deck, so it's just best practice. You're spending all this money, you want it to last for long. Use protection, kids.
All right, so first things first, we are going to get into our bays. So as I said before, it's easy just to take off bite-sized pieces of your deck rather than try to lay a whole line and then try and space them out, use clamps and packers and stuff. It's just such a nightmare to work with. So if you just work with basically making 2 straight lines, evenly spacing it out so that you're working with about 6 decking boards at a time, I think is kind of the sweet spot. 6 or 8 is good because you can use the wedge method, which allows you just to basically evenly space it out. So even if your set out's out by a few mil per board, you can space it all out so that when you do your full deck, it looks nice and even. So it's a really good way to do it just to make sure you're not pitch perfect and millimeter perfect. But it's a really great way to get it all laid down nice and quick. So first off, working parallel from the house, I'm just going to set up a few of these main straight boards and then we'll start to work on the infills.
All right, so that's really the hardest part to setting out these boards is getting that nice straight board, that first line, string line straight, so that from here, basically you can measure 6 board width. So we're just working parallel, and that way everything's gonna be working square off this one, which is basically your datum line, your starting point. So I'm gonna measure 6 boards for me is about 860 mil. So my next board, I'm gonna screw that down, then do the same. Everything's gonna be nice and parallel, and it's gonna leave me with these big gaps in the middle, which we can just cut boards in and infill. So now that all our bay boards are screwed off, everything's nice and straight, we've got small little bite-sized pieces to work with, and now the real tedious job of cutting and putting in every single board in line. Now, of course, when they send out random lengths, or sometimes you just get random packs of set lengths, which is, I believe, what I've gotten in this delivery of boards of Blackbutt, not all of them fit. And some, unfortunately, there's a good handful of these that are actually just a bit too short, which is such a shame because it means that I'm going to be forced to waste more of my material to get it to land on the next joist. But recommend setting out as much as you can, pretty much bring all your boards out, fluff them out everywhere, and then you've got the choice of picking and choosing what you can lay in, randomizing it as much as possible so that you can change up your color, your grain type, and of course your length, because we don't want to have 2 joins lining up at each other. You really want to stagger everything so that it blends off seamlessly and it doesn't look like you've got a brick pattern or anything like that, unless that's what you're after. So, the time-consuming part. Now, I cut it so close. I was almost thinking, oh my God, I haven't ordered enough boards, but what really got me was these big things. This awful wastage. I had pretty real big set length boards that they delivered me, so it was about 2.2 meters in these big packs, which meant that I just had to chop off 400 to make it work anywhere in this deck, which is such a bummer because I do have these big boards left over. There's a good handful of them, but I'm sure we'll find some kindling and they'll keep our house warm at some point, so not a total waste. But a bit of a shame, I didn't have as much as I thought I'd have left over to do some sides, so I might have to order some extra longer boards just to finish off some detail. But we're on to the next stage, which is a very loud and laborious stage of just screwing it all off. So I can use some of these. I'll be able to cut out some wedges out of all of our spare offcuts over here, and I'll use those wedges to even out the gaps, draw a line and screw it off, and just do that on repeat basically for a few hours, and you've got yourself a screwed down deck. So I'll try to speed this process up a little bit, give you a bit of a snippet, but that's really all there is to it.
Good morning. This morning, Brad's called in the big guns, me, to help him screw off all the pranks. No, in reality, he's done all the hard work, and I'm coming in to do the quick part of the labour.
Yes, but a helping hand is very much needed at this point in time.
So we're just gonna Brad's got everything set out. We've got the wooden wedges, and we're just essentially going to try and spend the next few hours screwing everything off.
As we've just completed these runs, they're nice and straight, so all we really need to do is just do these infills, so we can just take our time this morning between the two of us. I've got 3 drills to do, and before everybody tells me, yes, you can get a drill that does the countersink bit, and I know, but they never work. Honestly, if you get one that's nice, let me know, because I've tried multiple over years and years of doing decking, and they always leave black rings, and I have got other ones that are just without the spacer on them, which is fine, but you do need to sharpen them after a good little while, so they've just never really worked. So this Aldi countersink drill bit has done so much over the last few years, and I've never sharpened it, so
That's such a good act.
if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
We'll have to link to it. Although, Aldi, did you say?
Aldi.
Or was it the middle aisle?
Middle aisle.
So you won't be able to link to it because it'll just be one of those things that...
I know.
That's crazy.
It's some good stuff, Aldi. It's really
That's
good stuff.
That's because they're German.
It's because they're
They
German.
always do things right.
And it's cheap and it lasts a really long time. But anyway, for the sake of just handing an extra drill, I've got a third one. There's now an extra set of hands, so it's easy work.
Yeah. So we've got to leave for a winery. So we've literally got
Shame.
we've got 4 hours on the clock, and I'd like to get it finished. We like to do things with like a timer, so we work hard.
Nothing like a good deadline.
Yeah, we need a deadline. And also, the fun thing is we get to show Russell the finished product today.
That's right. He hasn't seen it since he dug all the holes out.
Yeah,
so.
and he did so much hard work for us. So I actually would love to show him like them all screwed down and spaced nicely. So we better get to it.
Oh, well, stop
Oh, yeah,
yapping
we gotta
about.
get
Let's
to
get
it, guys.
going.
We gotta go. I snapped the bit. It's no longer square. Luckily,
It broke because it's shit, not you, mate.
Huh?
I said it broke because it's shit, not you.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. I don't know how true that is, but it's nice of you to say. The last one. Alright. Absolute record time. Woo! We nailed that. Well, we screwed that, I guess. We finally finished it off.
We did.
We screwed all the screws in just before Brad's parents arrived.
Yeah, we squeezed it in. There's nothing like a little 3-4 hour hustle in the morning where you just need to make an absolute racket and just finish it off.
We literally screwed it in and then they walked up the driveway.
Perfect time.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's in.
It is in. It's
And-
down. It's all spaced out nicely and it looks great. It's such a great space, my gosh.
It's really nice.
So much room for activities.
Nice to have that feeling of the indoor-outdoor, like, flow. So I think the many a barbecue will be had out here eventually.
And so much lounging under this beautiful tree.
Yeah, we're looking forward to, like, relaxing on a summer's day under the trees in the shade.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's going to be beautiful. So next is the retaining wall.
Yes.
We need to kind of sand back. There was some mishaps. I think I got some footage of the bit breaking some of the screws are a bit funky, so we just need to fix them up.
Yeah, these are a thicker gauge screw than we usually use, or a 10 gauge rather than an 8, which is better in my opinion. I think the pre-drill was just a little bit too small, so we did go through a handful of bits. But good thing every time you buy a square-headed screw, they give you like 48 square
Lucky.
bits. So I
Lucky.
have ample in the shed that we got through, which was great.
But it has meant that like some of them have a bit of a Sharpie bit. That we
Yeah, I
need
got
to
to pull
get.
out the broken heads in the screws.
That's
but
fine.
you know,
There's just some bits to do on the deck, and then we can move on to the retaining wall, and then we'll oil it, and we can do a garden bed, and then it's kind of
can actually
project finished.
start to clean this place up.
And then we can use it.
So we can actually use it. Yes, lounge setting will go on here very quickly.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
Which has been living its life in the backyard for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's like
4
literally
years.
upside down in the backyard.
Just been mowing around it, so we actually finally get to clean it and put it on,
So we're
on
going
a
to
deck.
give it a wipe down, and hopefully it'll be alright for now.
Join us in for the next one where we keep this going and we finish it off. We're so close to getting this outdoor area finished, but can't wait to show you what it's going to look like.
See you in the next one.
See you very soon.